Alright, hello Algebra 1. We're back to System of Equations, and we're going to continue kicking butt with the elimination method. This is going to be our second video on the elimination method, and our focus is multiplication. So if you go ahead and turn to page 11, we can get started. So there are 5 main steps with the elimination method using multiplication. The first one is to kind of pick a variable to eliminate. So if we kind of, analyze our two linear equations, we can kind of look and see what would be the easier one to cancel out. So if we have 5 and a 2, well, there's no easy way of canceling that out. But our y's, we have a 6 and a 3. Well, those are a little easier to work with because we know that we could get, one of the y's, equal to each other. A little easier than 5 and 2. So for this problem, I'm going to eliminate y. And hopefully throughout this video, you guys will start to pick up on which one to eliminate. So we need to follow step 2 now, which is multiply at least one equation to have, the terms be eliminated. So we picked y, which is a smart decision, because we know that 3 times 2 gives you 6. So we're going to be writing our 5x plus 6y equals negative 8, and our 2x plus 3y equals negative 5. Again, and we know that our goal is to cancel out our y's, so we're going to multiply this entire equation by 2 because that's what's going to give us a 6y. So let's go ahead and kind of line those up. So we'll have our first equation that will just be the same. So 5x plus 6y equals negative 8. And for the second equation, you got to distribute that 2 through. So 2 times 2x gives you your 4x. And 2 times 3y gives you your plus 6y. And 2 times negative 5 gets you your negative 10. So we're going to draw our line. We need to figure out if we're going to add or subtract. So because these two are the same sign, we know that we're going to subtract to cancel them out. So we've got 5 minus 4, that just gives you your 1x. Your 6 minus 6, which gives you your 0. These cancel out. And then it's going to equal negative 8 minus negative 10. Well, let's just write that down here. Let's remember what happens. So negative 8 minus negative 10. Remember, you're going to add these together because when you subtract a negative, you're adding. So negative 8 plus 10 gives you 2. So for this first problem, we solved that x equals 2. Well, now step 5, we need to substitute that value back in to find our y value. So let's go ahead and just do that to our first equation. So we'll have 5, and then our 2, and then plus 6y equals negative 8. So we got 10 plus 6y equals negative 8. Well, we got to move over our 10, so minus 10 on both sides. So you have 6y equals negative 18. Divide by 6. So y equals negative 3. So we know for our answer for this problem, we're going to have the ordered pair, our x and our y. Our x value we found was 2, and our y value is negative 3. And that is the solution. So let's go ahead and jump to our next problem. We've got 3 more I want to do. So example number 2. Our goal is to figure out which one to eliminate. Well, for this one, there's not really a good, one that jumps right out at us. So let's just go ahead and eliminate x. Eliminate x. So we need to figure out what to multiply by. So for this first one, if we want to get rid of x, let's just multiply by, the other coefficient. So since this first one has a 5 in front of it, we know the second one we're going to multiply by 5. And since the second one has a 2 in front of it, you're going to multiply this first one by a 2. It's kind of, you're just flipping those numbers. So let's go ahead and distribute those numbers through. So we'll have our 10x minus 6y equals 12. And then distribute the numbers for our second one. We'll have 10x plus 25y equals negative 50. All right, so this is what we've got. Now we got to draw our line. And it's kind of easy to see what we're canceling out because we already decided we're going to eliminate x. And we can see that we have both of them as a positive 10x. So that means we're going to subtract. So 10 minus 10 gives you 0. These cancel out, which was our goal. And then we've got negative 6 minus 25, which gives you a negative 31y. And then 12 minus negative 50 gets you a 62. Remember, when you subtract a negative, you are adding. So to solve for your y, you divide by negative 31 on both sides. So y equals negative 2. So there's our first value. All right, we've got our y value. Now we need to find our x value. So let's go ahead and just substitute that in for our first equation. So we'll have our 5x minus 3, in parentheses, we'll have our negative 2, and then equals 6. So we have our 5x, negative 3 times negative 2 gives you positive 6, and it equals 6. Now we got to solve for x, so minus 6 on both sides. You got 5x equals 0. Divide by 5 on both sides, x equals 0. So you write your answer in ordered pair. 0, negative 2 is your answer. All right, let's go ahead and jump to example number 3. So I want to, let's do eliminate y in this problem. Eliminate y. So there's no easy way of doing that. So we're going to do kind of the similar method to what we did for example number 2. We're just going to kind of flip those coefficients. So for the first one, we'll multiply by 3 because there's a 3 here. And the second one, we'll multiply by 2 because there's a 2 here. So let's go ahead and rewrite those. 3 times 3 gives you your 9x. 3 times 2y gives you your plus 6y. 3 times 1 gets you equals 3. Same thing with the second one. We got 2 times 4. That gives you your 8x. 2 times 3y gets you your plus 6y. And 2 times negative 2 gets you negative 4. Draw your line. Since these signs are the same, we know they're going to subtract. So 9 minus 8 gives you x. Your y's cancel out. And you have 3 minus negative 4, which is the same as adding, so equals 7. So we have our x value. Killing it, doing great. Now let's go ahead and plug that in to our first equation. So we've got 3 times 7 plus 2y equals 1. Well, 3 times 7 gets you 21. We got plus 2y equals 1. Solve for y, minus 21 on both sides. So you got 2y equals negative 20. Divide both sides by 2. Y equals negative 10. So our answer is 7, negative 10. And then example number 4. We need to find the solution to the system. So what's going to be the easiest one to cancel out? And I'm going to pick x. We want to eliminate x. And we want to do that because you can see that these are easily going to cancel out because this is like having a 1 in front of it. So we need to multiply this entire thing by 2. 2. Won't write. There we go, 2. So when we do that, our first one will stay the same. You've got your 2x plus 6y equals 18. Then when we multiply the second one through, you'll get 2x plus 6y equals 18. Well, let's go ahead, draw our line. We know we're going to subtract because they are the same sign. So 2 minus 2 gives you 0x. Ooh, 6 minus 6 gives you a 0y. So this entire side equals 0. And 18 minus 18 equals 0. Excuse me, equals 0. And 0 equals 0, which is true. So this is infinitely, goodness gracious, many solutions. Infinitely many solutions because you have 0 equals 0. But that is all I have for today. If you guys are struggling or need some extra help, please let us know. Don't wait till the quiz for us to find out. Thank you. See you later.